weekend. Andrew, I don't know if you've seen anything about it. I don't even know if Noah's seen anything about it. Have you seen everything that's going on between Barstool and the NWHL? Have you seen this?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
So the Women's Hockey League?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a Barstool fan. I think that's, like, everybody knows that. Like, I'm somebody who supports Barstool, and there's a lot of people out there who have an outdated image of Barstool as this, horrible company who does whatever it needs to do, blah, blah. And I do think that's very outdated.
Super outdated.
So Barstool's CEO, Erica Nardini, female CEO, who came in.
That's a girl.
I want to say back in 2016 when she started, and since then, and Dave Portnoy talked about all this in a emergency press conference, as he calls them, but took them over the past few years from a $15 million company to almost $1 billion company. Like, she's done a fantastic job.
Holy shit.
And on top of that, Barstool's 3 out of their 4 top executives, so not including Dave, the other 3, all female.
That's not male.
Yes. So anyway, Barstool gets this bad image, whatever. Erica Nardini, yeah, Andrew's writing that down. Erica Nardini, their CEO, genius, whatever. You call her whatever you want. She's unbelievable. She's a huge hockey fan. Loves hockey. And obviously a person in a position of power with a sports and entertainment media outlet like Barstool and a female, she's always wanted to support the NWHL. She's talked about buying a team. She's given them, pretty much free press through Barstool, and she's had some of their players on her podcast, Token CEO, where she talks about what it's like to run a business like Barstool and navigate that world.
All right, so what's the beef?
Okay, so out of the blue the other day, a few journalists that cover the NWHL, and one specifically who is actually also a social media manager for one of the teams, fired off some tweets, just straight up taking shots for
no reason?
Yes, at Erica Nardini, saying, like, we don't want her or Barstool to have anything to do with our league because we don't agree with, like, whatever they're about. So all of a sudden, she sees the tweet and just a fairly simple response, like, hey, I don't know why this was unprovoked. All I've ever tried to do was, like, help the league and benefit them, blah, blah, blah. So you're talking about the NWHL, who has been struggling for years now, and there's been mergers, there's been strikes, their players' union has had issues because there's not enough money in the sport, and that's kind of the problem with all female sports. And then
even hockey itself still.
Yeah, exactly. Even men's professional hockey out of the big 4 sports is still the only
on Twitch right now, to put it in perspective, because it's not worldwide. And honestly, this took me, as stupid as this point is, I didn't realize like how long it took me a while to realize like why there are not more black NHL players and hockey players, and it's because obviously the pricing. Like if it's soccer or basketball, dude. Soccer, you take a ball, you don't even need a net. Basketball, there's hoops everywhere. You don't even need a hoop. You can just dribble wherever. But it took me a while to realize why there's not more black hockey players. I didn't realize like how grateful I was.
So, and that's like a big thing with that hockey's been moving towards, right? Hockey is for everyone.
Real quick though, so on Twitch, they have about 400 people every day who watch NHL 21. That's to put it in perspective. Fortnite has about 90 to 100K every day watching.
Yeah.
So
wait, how many did you say?
400. Only 400 people.
Yeah. It's
400
not,
viewers.
It's not a very big
Holy
market.
shit.
There's times that I've streamed and I've been the highest, like the person with the most viewers streaming NHL, which is cool because COD is a very oversaturated market, and if I'm at the top, people are going to be more prone to click to it. Anyways, back to what you were saying.
So, and then all of a sudden this beef breaks out.
Hockey does not make money.
This beef breaks out between Barstool and the NWHL, and Barstool fans, as you know, they're I'm not going to say cult because that makes them come off in
It's
a bad
half
way.
a cult, half
but
not a cult.
They're very like passionate people, right? They support this company, and everybody kind of was in the same boat where they're like, well, how could the NWHL be so oblivious to the fact that the reason that they struggle is because they need to get eyes on the project virtually.
Literally.
Talking all the way back to Scoop, right? They need opportunity to grow. They need viewership. They need all that. And Barstool is sitting here, a company, a sports, lifestyle, entertainment, media company, a gambling company, wants to get involved with a sports league that is pretty much hanging on by a thread because they don't have the exposure that's necessary to keep themselves afloat. And now because you have a few people who came out and said it, like these few reporters came out and called out Barstool for their so-called, the way that they view the company, and everybody else started falling in line. Players, the league itself even released a statement pretty much backing that information. Like players from the league were even tweeting like Barstool is a white supremacist company, stuff like this. And so Dave Portnoy comes on and he did exactly what I would have done in this situation. Yeah. He said, one, like, Erica is a fucking genius. Like, you guys are the stupidest motherfuckers ever for taking this stand just because you're too afraid to stand up to cancel culture.
You were gonna get support, but now they're gonna literally the league. They literally just shot themselves.
So
in the foot.
Exactly. So that Dave Portnoy came out and said, he posted videos that Erica's too nice to do this because she supports the league. She doesn't want to come on here and trash talk it, even though all you guys are doing is burying them, because at the end of the day, all she wanted to do in the first place was help grow the game. She loves hockey. She plays hockey. She wants to grow the women's hockey market.
Don't even like Barstool that much. I respect the fuck out of Dave Portnoy. I've got one or two things I gotta say. But that is one of the stupidest things they could have done.
Yeah.
Because to get support, you need to support other things.
So, like...
real quick, what you were saying earlier, too, about an outdated version. The way I view Barstool is... Barstool has a lot of people that they literally make fun of that are fans of it. That's my funniest. That's my fun. Like, those dudes that... Like, the Chads. There's Chads that like Barstool and don't realize that Barstool's making fun of them. All their content makes fun of Chads. It doesn't... People see that, though, and they're like... My biggest thing with Barstool, though, which is so cool about Barstool, is I don't watch SportsCenter. I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch any of that shit, dude. It's just gross what they cover. They'll cover, like, what toothpaste he uses, and not actual things. And obviously, media is going to have its biases, blah, blah, blah. But Barstool entered into... that place that was dominated by, NBC, ESPN, like NBC Sports,
major media companies.
And he built his own and rivals it, and now has the ability, built it from nothing, now rivals it. My biggest beef with Dave Portnoy is he's a Boston fan. That's literally irrelevant. Sure. That's literally not even relevant. But people have, and then for a while, I had a little bit of a take on Barstool where I was like, dude, this is like, because I have a roommate, or I used to have a roommate who's literally has everything Barstool. But one of my best friends, ever, fucking great dude. But my biggest issue with all of that is, look, they had a golden opportunity. I don't want to watch a single women's National Hockey League game because of that right now. I didn't really have plans to.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now that, sure, my one viewership means nothing. But to them, it means a lot because they don't have many viewers.
And here's the other thing I think they're all underestimating, and you kind of just alluded to this, is that Barstool is a company that, of course, rivals all those others. And I think a big part of that is because of the way that company is able to build not just a large fan base, but an intensely loyal fan base. Super passionate.
This is the end of the story. I mean, go and look it up by yourself. I went on a Twitter rant about it. I did, but whatever. Go look it up. Create your own opinion on it. But the end of, like, where I'm going to end is Dave Portnoy in his press conference, and we've talked about Dave before on the podcast, Andrew. Remember when we talked about how he gets the bottles of champagne?
He doesn't. He does not get the credit he deserves because people just think, oh, Barstool drinking sports. Barstool, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Barstool is more than that. Like, it's, if you still have that viewership on it, first off, you're wrong. Second off, you're fucking stupid.
Well, because anybody who has that opinion just has no idea. Yeah, they just haven't. Those are people that have not looked at any of
It's the
content.
Same thing. This is what the NWHL did, and I want to see it grow. I know a lot of girls who play
sick
or have
ass
dreams of playing.
Sick ass girls, female players
that want to play in this league and want to be able to make a living doing it. Like, this is your fucking golden opportunity.
That is so stupid.
Bottom line is, like I've said, Andy, we've talked about Dave. We know how he does the champagne bottles with his enemies' names on and pops them once he destroys them. He's a cutthroat guy. That's how he's gotten to where he is. So he literally said, fuck this. and this video ends with like, Erica, if you want to, let's start a professional women's hockey league, bring in all their best players and fucking bury these idiots.
The ones that want to come, yeah. And what's even crazier is he's going to profit off that. It's going to get more
and
eyes on.
I said,
literally,
you know what?
they just
That's the best thing. Honestly, I mean, you could argue, like, do you want a sports league being run by a media company? I mean, if that's give or take, like, that's a whole different conversation. But, like, if Barstool went out and did that and they created their own women's hockey league, do you know how quickly they would bury the NWHL?
Right now, the coolest thing about podcasts is this is going to be dated. And the coolest thing about time is it's continuous. In a few months' time, we'll be able to see what develops.
Yeah, what happens. Because I really think that, like, let's just say Barstool goes with it and they go through it. All those, like you were saying, they have super loyal supporters. They're all going to jump ship. And that's the thing. Is like,
And listen, most of Barstool is men. Men like women. Men like hockey. You have like women playing hockey.
My thing is like but that's my thing is like Barstool knows exactly how to accomplish their goals.
Nice. Yeah, like that. Oh yeah.
That was really good. Like they've done, like, you know what I mean? They've grown things that people never thought would be popular. And all of a sudden, like, look what happened with professional lacrosse. Big Cat and those guys bought a professional lacrosse team.
I didn't even know that. That's cool as
fuck. And they talk about pro lacrosse all the time on, like, Part of My Take and stuff like that. And I've watched the PLL now because
think, like, what you were saying, that outdated take, like, it was for the beginning of Barstool, when it first became a point where you couldn't ignore that. Like, my dad knows what Barstool is. Like, everyone knows what Barstool is. Barstool is huge. It is so huge. People don't realize, like, people literally don't realize what Dave Portnoy did. And
I just think
I get that outdated view because for probably 2 months I probably had that view, but granted that was like 2 years ago. Like, Barstool could never cover another sport, and you would see Barstool on every social media that you've ever been on.